I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Uhuru Museveni, the President of Uganda, to the stage.
I'm very sorry. President Museveni, please come to stage.
Your Excellency, Prime Minister Ahmed, and Our Excellency the President of Ethiopia, and the presidents of the countries who have been invited here, I want to congratulate the Prime Minister and the government of Ethiopia for bringing out properly the history of Ethiopia by building this, repairing these old buildings and building this park. This is the result of ideological clarity. People are not clear. They look at history in a fragmented way. Everything leads to something else. Something cannot happen without being preceded by something else. Therefore, the culture of trying to erase what the previous leaders had done is wrong. In Uganda, we had seen this, although we fought civil wars, but when we gained the upper hand, we insisted on forming what we called a broad-based government, where even the people who were against us before were integrated into the government of that time. So therefore, I want to congratulate the Prime Minister for doing this. He has now captured the real history of recent Ethiopia, starting with the Emperor Menelik, coming all the way to the present. I think this will also help to bring unity in terms of perception among the Ethiopians. If there are groups who felt annoyed and neglected, the Prime Minister has recognized everybody, and I congratulate him and I thank him.
I don't know why you guys smiled before, but we all regional leaders considered President Museveni as our father. So President Uhuru, feel proud to be called Uhuru Museveni. Please come. I am repeating the previous mistake intentionally.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Your Excellency, President of Ethiopia, Madam Saleh Work Wede, Your Excellency Dr. Abiy Mohammed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government here present, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by saying that I'm greatly honored to be with you today as we mark this auspicious launch, the grand social ceremony and the inauguration of Unity Park here in Addis Ababa. I take this opportunity to join President Uhuru Museveni in congratulating you, Prime Minister, for this great work. Prime Minister, Kenya and Ethiopia have enjoyed a peaceful coexistence and developed through continued dialogue and excellent neighborliness. And this has created a very strong foundation from which our partnership continues to grow in areas of mutual interest, and it has also given us an effective platform for the resolution of disputes in our region. And this is something that we in Kenya appreciate. Your invitation to this memorable occasion not only assures me, but the people of Kenya, that the peace that has existed between our nations shall grow even stronger in the years to come. The inauguration of this Unity Park comes only a few days after you launched the beautifying of the Shenger project, a project that is part of the comprehensive work that your government is undertaking to beautify the historically significant and culturally important city of Addis Ababa. Ethiopia is undoubtedly endowed with a rich and colorful history that makes it unique on the African continent. As one of the few countries to have resisted and defeated efforts at colonialism, and it also serves as a constant reminder of the need to preserve our culture and indeed our sovereignty. In this regard, I have no doubt that this campaign that we have started to restore Addis Ababa to her rightful glory will not only open up new economic opportunities for the people of Ethiopia, but will also inspire others across the continent to focus on the creation of environmentally friendly cities and urban centers. Preservation, promotion of authentic African heritage is crucial for the social, economic, and environmental well-being of our societies and our people. Preserving and restoring African cultural heritage and the protection of our environment is a huge investment that we as leaders must continue to champion tirelessly. It not only serves to restore dignity, honor, and well-being to the African people today, but it also serves as an important beacon to help our future generations navigate an increasingly complex world in which history, traditions, cultural identities stand to be lost. So once again, congratulations, Your Excellency, your government, for your foresight. And I would like to commend you also on the bold steps that you have taken on political reform, as well as gender inclusivity. Political reform is difficult and is indeed a lonely path. And indeed, your courage and determined efforts to bring about positive change to Ethiopia is indeed worth emulating. At heart, we understand that these reforms are driven by the desire for all people in Ethiopia to live in peace and for all Ethiopians to prosper. Opening up to the public the palace, which was hitherto closed to ordinary citizens, is akin to your ongoing efforts to create a more open, cohesive, democratic state in which everyone contributes to the work of nation building. This year, Kenya and Ethiopia will commemorate 55 years of our historic relationship that was initiated by our founding fathers, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta and Emperor Haile Selassie. The fraternal relations born out of the Pan-African movement and passion for independence of the African continent continue to flourish and expand every day. So again, congratulations to you, the government and the people of Ethiopia, on the inauguration of this Unity Park, and indeed the splendid display of environmentally friendly urban plans for the 21st century, coupled with Ethiopian beauty and rich cultural heritage. I finally conclude by saying that a country that has no history can never understand her present and is therefore never able to plan for her future. Every country, and I repeat, every country has a good past, a not so good past, and a past that we would all wish to forget. By recognizing this, one can begin to heal from the wounds of the past and start the process of healing, of reconciliation, and prosperity. Congratulations to you, Prime Minister. Congratulations to Ethiopia. You have started on your journey to a great future. May God bless you on this journey, and may God bless Africa. Thank you.
Please join me on welcoming President Salva Kiir to the stage.
Your Excellency, President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Your Excellency, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Your Excellencies, Head of States and Governments, Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, Your Excellency, I wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to the people and government of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia for the invitation that have been extended to me to attend the Ethiopia's grand social ceremony, a noble experience of generational legacy. At the outset of my remarks, I would like to acknowledge here that the relationship between the people of South Sudan and the Ethiopian people is not just bilaterally enhanced relationship, but it is a historical people-to-people relationship that goes back to ancient biblical era. History is so rich on how the kingdoms of Kush and Axum thrived alongside each other and contributed to the world civilization. They were among the first Christian kingdoms to exist at the Horn of Africa, and this explains, up to today, our Christian bonding between the people of Ethiopia and the people of South Sudan. Therefore, we are the descendants of the great kingdoms that had lived as close cousins. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, in addition to this ancient connection, the people of Ethiopia have always stood by the people of South Sudan in their difficult history. We always run here for refuge when we flee from violent conflict, and Ethiopia unreservedly accepts to host us as their brothers and sisters from South Sudan. The 1972 peace agreement, popularly known as Addis Ababa Accord, was negotiated and signed here in Addis Ababa. It was the agreement that served as an eye-opener for the people of South Sudan to later on stage more robust fight for their liberation when the agreement was abrogated by the government of the then Sudan. Our own movement, the Sudan People's Liberation Movement and Sudan People's Liberation Army, was born here in Ethiopia in 1983. The Ethiopian government provided political, moral, and logistical support to the SPLA to launch its revolutionary armed struggle against the Sudanese government. What is more is that the Ethiopian people trained the majority of the SPLA soldiers, and some of them made ultimate sacrifices in the trenches and in the front lines with their South Sudanese brothers. The EPRDF government provided direct military support to our struggle, and we cannot thank the people of Ethiopia enough for their support and their sacrifices. Therefore, I find this occasion as a great opportunity for me to tell the people of Ethiopia, thank you, and a big thank you for the people of Ethiopia for all you have done to us. And without your support, South Sudan could have not achieved independence. So, South Sudan is your home, and this is the reason we have opened all the doors for the Ethiopians to do business in South Sudan. Your involvement in South Sudan's economy is appreciated. Your Excellency, we never get tired of appreciating you for the role you have played in our historical journey, as I narrated before. which goes as far back as the 1972 peace agreement, and more importantly, the support to our revolutionary armed struggle in 1980s, and now your dear support for the implementation of the revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan. As an update to Your Excellency and the Ethiopian people who wish their brothers and sisters in South Sudan peace and harmony, we are on schedule to form the revitalized transitional government of national unity in the next month, as stipulated by the revitalized agreement. The membership of the National Pre-Transitional Committee is working tirelessly to ensure the date for the formation of the government is met. Most of the pre-transitional activities have already been addressed, and pending issues are being tackled. Troops are already in cantonment sites. Training of nucleus unified force is ongoing. Necessary legal ratifications have been made, and I will soon be meeting with the leaders of opposition groups in Juba in preparation to form the government. The national dialogue process, which provided the people of South Sudan with an enabling platform to air out their grievances and proposes solutions, is now at its final stage of convening the National Dialogue Conference in Juba. At this juncture, Your Excellency, we dearly call upon you to continue supporting not only our efforts in this regard, but also our appeals to the region and the international community to give us both political and material support. We are consciously aware some Western circles may not be happy with how we arrived at this agreement to settle the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan. But with the support of Your Excellency and the rest of our region, our neighbors in the region, those distant voices will be silenced, since they witness our determination to restore peace in South Sudan. Before I conclude, Your Excellency, let me know that it is indeed a real pleasure and privilege to have been accorded this opportunity to interact with all of you once again. I also want to assure you and the people of Ethiopia, as I said earlier, that our relations are not just neighborly relations. They are relations cemented by blood and a long history of peaceful coexistence. To conclude, Your Excellency, we pray God Almighty to give you strength to continue leading the people of Ethiopia effectively. As brothers and sisters from South Sudan, we wish you good health and happiness as you propel your country to greater economic prosperity. Thank you and congratulations to all what you have done. Thank you very much.
Now, I would like to call President Mohamed Abdullahi Formaggio to the stage.
Good evening, Your Excellency Sali Work Zodi, President of Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Your Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Your Excellencies, Presidents, Prime Minister, Head of State and Governments, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure and privilege to be attending Ethiopia's grand social ceremony, a noble experience of generational legacy today at Unity Park in this beautiful city of Addis Ababa. I congratulate my brother, Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, his government, and the people of Ethiopia for the restoration of Unity Park. The restoration of the palace is an important symbol of the wider reforms and successes Ethiopia is achieving under the stewardship of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his government. The restoration of palace is truly magnificent. It's an honor to be surrounded by history and the beauty of modern design in this wonderful building. Ethiopia has historically been and will continue to be a destination for trade and tourism for the Somali people as a neighbors. Our two sides must benefit from the opportunities offered by our two respective countries, and in the process further strengthen our people-to-people relations. Projects like the restoration of National Palace will certainly contribute to the Ethiopia's economic reform agenda by boosting and developing the tourism sector. On our sides, we are committed to encouraging tourism in our respective countries between our two peoples, and this is made much easier by the daily direct flights of Ethiopian Airlines, for which we are grateful. Tourism is a pillar of economic development that has the potential to create jobs, foster partnerships, and facilitate innovation. Restoration projects like the Unity Park is important to diversify the economy in a way that celebrates the identity and history of the Ethiopian people. I once again congratulate you and the government and the people of Ethiopia on this magnificent success. I can assure you, Mr. Prime Minister, that my delegation and I committed to using this celebration to spearhead greater economic cooperation between our two countries, especially in the area of tourism. And I thank you.
Let me invite His Excellency Abdullah Hamdok, Prime Minister of Sudan, to the stage.
Good evening, Excellency Sahli Work Zodi, President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed, the Prime Minister, Excellencies, Head of State and Government, Excellencies, Representative of States and Governments, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me at the outset to express my gratitude on behalf of all the people of Sudan, my sincere thanks to the government and the people of Ethiopia for the kind invitation. Indeed, it gives me great pleasure to join Your Excellencies at this auspicious occasion, the renovation and inauguration of the Grand Palace, the historic epic center of the political power in the modern history of sisterly Ethiopia. As a matter of fact, turning such historical site into tourist attraction offer not only the chance to diversify economic resources, it is also a vindication that economic progress and the preservation of cultural and national heritage can still go hand in hand. Tourism sector in today's world represent the soft power that support our economies and provide yet more jobs opportunities for our younger generations. I'm very delighted to be back to Ethiopia, where I served the longest part of my entire career. Your remarkable experience in economic transformation, Your Excellency, is a source of pride and admiration across the African continent. In the past, we used to look to the Far East, the tigers, and so many experiences from outside the continent. But I guess Ethiopia is showing us the way. So, Prime Minister, you should be very proud of that. I have been observing with appreciation the results of the wide economic and social reforms undertaken by your government, topping deservedly the list of the country's fastest growing economies in Africa and beyond. In this regard, the successful conclusion of the joint Sudanese Ethiopian Business Council in Addis Ababa last week has laid a solid foundation for robust economic and commercial partnerships between our two nations, particularly in the private sector. Integrating our joint colossal capacities shall create a big room for the expansion and fast tracking of our mutual business and investment opportunities. It is high time that our strong bilateral relations in areas of political diplomacy should be extended towards trade and investment. Excellencies, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring you news from home. I'm very delighted to stand in front of you tonight representing the new Sudan, the dawn of a new country. Compared in similarity, we are bragging about this, of course, to the French Revolution in its aspirations and impact. The Sudanese December Revolution has been widely lauded as a source of inspiration to the entire world. I think we are very proud to claim that some of the recent movements across the globe might have taken some leaflets from our revolution. We're happy to brag about that. It was indeed a victory for the will and the wisdom of the Sudanese people in overcoming the political challenges and the formation of the transitional arrangements and structures that sincerely expresses the revolution goals. It has been a revolution that is peaceful, led by young people and women. And it was not by chance that it gave Sudan its first female foreign minister, who's here. The peaceful transition towards democracy and civilian rule, ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't have been easy without the constructive role and the crucial mediation played by Ethiopia and the AU. In fact, Ethiopia, the host of the AU's headquarters, had been playing leading roles in peacekeeping operations in the region and acting as a stabilizing force in our region. Mr. Prime Minister, I think you have seen it yourself at the signing ceremony of our agreement that probably you know so well now. You are very popular in Sudan. If this regional integration projects, as President Museveni has been preaching over the years, will take us a step further to have regional governments, you might consider running for this greater horn. The recent role played by Ethiopia in bringing together different political actors in Sudan to a common platform was pivotal and successful because it seems and stems, I think, from sincere and honest appreciation of each other. The people of Sudan and Ethiopia, perhaps due to the geographical proximity and centuries of socio-historical ties, were known throughout history by their respective spontaneous intervention to help each other in difficult times. To conclude, Your Excellency, Sudan remains poised to work together with Ethiopia and all other countries in the region and beyond in moving our region to the stage of beyond the stage of discord, disputes, and conflicts towards the supreme goals of peace, prosperity, development, and regional integration. I thank you for your kind attention.
Now, let me call upon His Excellency Nabil Mohammed Abdullah, Minister of Higher Education of Djibouti, to say a few words on behalf of President Ismail Omar Guelleh.
Excellency Head of State, Excellency Prime Minister Abiy, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like, first of all, to express His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh regrets not being able to be here for this very important event. It's both an honor and a privilege for him to have been invited as a guest of honor to this grand social ceremony. As you may know, his brother's funerals were held this morning. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So, behalf on His Excellency, I have the honor to read his remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, as Djiboutian, as East African, as Africans, our presence here today in this beautiful capital, Addis Ababa, bears witness to the strong historical ties between our two brotherly countries. On both sides of the border, there are people who belong to the same ethnic, share the same language and the same culture. Your Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, it gives us great pride to be part of this very magnificent event. The renovation of the National Palace is in itself a great achievement. The National Palace, the Imperial Jewel, was built 64 years ago to mark the Emperor Haile Selassie Silver Jubilee. The theme of this ceremony, a noble experience of generation legacy, reflects your wish to preserve historical treasure in the pure Ethiopian tradition. As you may know, the history of Ethiopia is unique in our continent. Ethiopia has ancient civilization, which dates back to the antiquity. If we remember, Stephanus of Byzantium once wrote, I quote, "Ethiopia was the first established country on earth, and Ethiopians were the first who introduced the worship of gods and who established laws." Moreover, Ethiopia is regarded as being a cradle of humankind. Lucy, the skeleton of the oldest human ancestor, was discovered in 1974 at the site of Hada. The ancient Ethiopians rightly claimed to have the oldest continuous kingdom in the world, starting over 4,000 years ago with the kingdom of Aksum. The kingdom of Aksum, which was the crossroad of the three continents, Africa, Arabia, and the Greco-Roman world, and was the most powerful state between Eastern Roman Empire and Persia. Aksum, which is famous for its legend of Queen of Sheba, the Solomon dynasty, and the Ark of Covenant. Your Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, an event of this type raises the awareness of young generation to the rich and ancient civilization of the country. Ethiopia is well known around the world for its architecture, such as the obelisks of Aksum, the Lalibela Church, the city of Harar, its museum, which take you through aspects of social and cultural history of 80 ethnic groups living in Ethiopia. Of course, Ethiopia is famous for its literature, its music, and its food. Last but not the least, Ethiopia is famous for its religious diversity and tolerance. In the early days of Islam, a Christian monarch, King Nagashi, supported the Muslim immigrants who escaped the persecution of Makkans. We are very grateful to him, an episode widely known to the Muslim world. As I conclude, I would like to congratulate you, Prime Minister Dr. Abiy, for your tireless efforts to lead your country to prosperity, to peace, while restoring its historical cultural heritage. I would like to congratulate Ethiopians and you, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, for this initiative. Again, thank you for your attention.
Last but not least, I will call upon the person who realized our vision and the person who is ready to cooperate with Ethiopia, building a new city around Lagahar, His Excellency, Mr. Mohammed Al-Abbar Ali. Please come to the stage.
Your Excellencies, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's just an amazing pleasure for me to really be able and join you tonight, because I was telling His Excellency that it's amazing how human beings are so dangerous, because if they put their head down to do something, they really do it. And I really congratulate many of you in this room, but I really congratulate you, Your Excellency. And I must tell you that, you know, I've worked in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and I have leaders that have pushed me day and night for the past 25 years, but your pressure is unbelievable. Yeah. But the truth is that I really think that, you know, leaders like many of you, and especially you, Your Excellency, is that, you know, you're so leaders like you, all of you are so paranoid. Healthy paranoid. You are so paranoid about your people. You're so paranoid about the love for your city. You're so paranoid that you want things to be done fast, and you want people to see and feel, and, you know, and give confidence to people that tomorrow is going to get better. So I honestly wish you all the best, and I truly think that you are on a long run. I mean, your passion for your people is unbelievable, and I really think that God is so kind to bring you and guide us. And I must say that you've done all of the work. So congratulations. You'll get the best project manager I've met, His Excellency. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to do more in Ethiopia, and I hope you support me to move forward. Thank you so much.